Plato was a Greek philosopher who divided the world into two realities, the material world and the world of forms. For him, the world of forms was the real one, containing perfect, universal, and unchanging versions of everything we see in material life. In truth, everything we perceive is just a copy of these forms. However, his student Aristotle completely disagreed with the idea of the world of forms. Still, both philosophers believed that everything and everyone should strive to fulfill their potential. This concept of not living in the real world appears often in movies like The Matrix.
This this isn't real.
But in The Matrix, the real world is terrifying, far from the perfection Plato imagined in the world of forms. The material world stays the same.
If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Plato believed we already possessed knowledge of the world of forms within our souls, but forgot it upon entering material life. The only way to regain real knowledge is through thinking and abstraction, with education playing a key role. Without a proper education, we remain stuck in doxa, strong belief, often based on argumentations. Sophists, for example, argued that both sides of any argument could be true, depending on perspective. Plato, however, was drawn to universally true knowledge, episteme, which included mathematics, hypothesis, reasoning, and ultimately knowledge of the forms. Some say he was too caught up in abstract thoughts, disconnected from the real world. In my circle, we even joke that when we struggle to focus on practical matters, we must be lost in Plato's world. Political philosopher Hannah Arendt also criticized Plato, arguing he should have been more grounded as there were more important concerns than his imagined world. Even though I don't agree with Plato's divided world and align more with Aristotle and Arendt in focusing on the so-called material world, I still find it fascinating that when we see any material objects like a car, we instantly recognize it as a car, despite the countless variation in its appearance. This is a car, still a car, another car, and this could be perfect car in the form world that every car is trying to be. Maybe beyond just past experiences, there's a deeper mental concept of a carness that helps us recognize it no matter the variation. Plato talked a lot about virtues, including justice, goodness, and beauty, which he believed were drawn from the world of forms. In contrast, vice was simply the absence of virtue, including traits like pride, greed, and anger. Plato believed that if we truly know what is right, we will do what is right, and this will bring us happiness. Philosopher Hume would agree as he connected moral actions to human emotions, while Kant would disagree, arguing that morality should be based purely on reason without emotional influence. Returning to Plato, he claimed that when someone commits a universally bad act, it's because they don't truly understand that it's wrong. Here I disagree. Yes, sometimes people, especially children, do morally bad things like stealing candy simply because they don't yet understand that stealing is wrong. But serious crimes like murder are usually committed with full awareness. To assume otherwise would be naive. Plato viewed the perfect state as a large body, with its leaders as the head, soldiers as the chest, and finally producers are the belly. The idea of categorizing people based on their abilities appears in movies like Divergent and The Giver.
Here are the leaders and the teachers and the workers and birth mothers of tomorrow. Jonas possesses all four attributes: intelligence, integrity, courage.
But it often leads to dystopian consequences. I see an issue with Plato's system because it doesn't allow people to pursue what they are passionate about, only what they are best at. Once again, education plays an important role in Plato's philosophy. He believed that everyone, even women and slaves, should receive schooling to improve the state as a whole. Schools, in his vision, would determine which of the three classes a person belonged to. For this time, this was quite a progressive idea. Lastly, I want to mention Plato's famous allegory of the cave. In short, we are like prisoners in a cave, the material world, seeing only shadows that we mistake for reality. To discover the truth, we must leave the cave and enter the real world of forms. However, adjusting to this truth would be difficult, and those still in the cave might see us as crazy. I relate this to being deceived by the government or media and blindly accepting their lies. It reminds me of The Wizard of Oz, where the wizard maintained control by lying to everyone.
And you need spies and animals in cages and an enemy. You have no real power.
Exactly.